see how much kidnappers are looking for victims.
My thing is, government should all the stakeholders in this together, and I think we can. The 3% for the oil producing community is too low.
So the support that is needed, and once you get the support, your energy will blossom.
This is Nigeria. You need to give people sense of belonging.
It is a beautiful Monday morning in the city of Abuja, and I'd like to welcome you to the Inside Nigeria show, coming to you live from Leadership Podcast Studio. My name is Tion Joseph, and it is our culture to keep you well informed about the happenings around you. And this morning, we are going to do the same. We'll be reading to you major stories from 5 different Nigerian dailies. So without further ado, let's begin. All right, this morning I'll be starting with the most influential newspaper, which is the Leadership newspaper. And on Leadership this morning, the major story says PDP crisis, state chairman divided over demand for a youth sack, single term for Atiku. You can find that story on page number 4. I'll take the story one more time. It says PDP crisis, state chairman divided over demand for a youth sack, single term for Atiku. Once again, you can find that story on page number 4. Now, let's take the bullets down there real quick. It says, it is ill-timed, unconstitutional, says chairman's loyalties. Okay, the next bullet says, he must step down. Opponents insist. The last bullet says, PDP chairman INEC to meet as, NEC, not INEC, NEC, to meet as concerns mount over campaign council. Over on top there, we also have some interesting bullets for you, one about Osibanjo and one about Abacha loot, but I'll let you go grab your copy so that you can see more about that. Furthermore, you can go to our website, www.leadership.ng, to see all these stories and much more. So let's head on to the next Nigerian Daily today so that we can see what is happening right around you. And we'll be taking National Economy. And for your information, if you don't know already, National Economy is a sister publication by Leadership newspaper. So on National Economy this morning, the major story says how Nigeria can avoid falling into a fiscal cliff. How Nigeria can avoid falling into a fiscal cliff. And there are 2 interesting bullets there, and let's take them quickly. It says, government must end high cost of governance. I totally agree with this one. This is from NE Board of Economists. The next bullet says, stop borrowings to finance consumptions. Experts tell FG states. Okay, now that is all we have on national economy. Let's move briskly to the next Nigerian Daily this morning. And the next one we'll be taking will be the Nigerian Tribune. It's been long we had this paper on our show. We were bringing it to you this morning for your consumption. All right. On Nigerian Tribune, the major story says PDP governance may prevail on Ayu to resign. PDP governance may prevail on Ayu to resign. The story is on page number 23. Go there and find more for yourself. These 2 bullets there says it is too late to remove him. Melaye says governors, not Atiku, responsible for PDP crisis. Ladies and gentlemen, that is all we have for Tribune. Let's head over to the next Nigerian Daily this morning. That is This Day. Okay, on this day, the major story there says how Tinubu's zero commitments at London meeting forced Wike back to Atiku. How Tinubu's zero commitments at London meeting forced Wike back to Atiku. Now, the bullet down there says engagement between PDP presidential candidate, Rivers government face saving. The last, second to the last one, there says Obasanjo denies supporting any candidate, plans to disclose on agenda soon. And the very last bullet says Shekarau joins main opposition party today. That is all we have on this day. We'll be moving to the next Nigerian Daily very shortly. And the next one we'll be considering today on the next paper will be The Nation. On this morning, on The Nation, the major story says, Obasanjo, I have no preferred candidate, but national agenda. He has no preferred candidate, but a national agenda. It says Obasanjo. And the bullet there says ex-president visits Babangida Abdusalami Ogwanye. Okay, that is all we have on the nation this morning. Let's move briskly to the next Nigerian daily, which is the Sun. The Sun is not bright today because it's raining, but we'll still take the Sun newspaper. All right. On the Sun this morning, it says crisis brews in Tinubu's campaign as Adamu's men allege neglect. I'll take that again. Crisis brews in Tinubu's campaign as Adamu's men allege neglect. There's one bullet there that says accused APC candidate of denying party chairs access to campaign consul's list. You can find details on page number 6. There's a lot, but we'll take only that for the Sun, and we'll move straight to the Moon. Sorry, we'll move straight to the next Nigerian newspaper, which is the Punch. Okay, so in the Punch newspaper, we have a headline there that says PDP NWC divided over IU, chairman's fate uncertain. PDP National Working Committee divided over IU, chairman's fate uncertain. Full story on page 2, 8, and 9. There are 3 bullets there, 3 to 4 bullets there. We'll take the first 2 for time's sake. All right. I have no problem being loyal to Wiki, says Makinde, says Deputy National Chairman. I take that again. I have no problem being loyal to Wiki Makinde, Deputy National Chairman, Arapaja. Okay, the last one we'll be taking is party in Delima over successor if IU resigns. Spokesmen say NWC not divided. Okay, let's move to the next one for today. And this will be the very last one for today's edition. I'll be looking at the Vanguard. Okay, on the Vanguard, the story says PDP crisis, Atiku at wit's end as IU Wike dig in. PDP crisis, Atiku at wit's end as IU Wike dig in. And I'll take only the first bullet, then we close the show. The first bullet right there says, IU may resist stepping down, PDP source. IU may resist stepping down, PDP source. Ladies and gentlemen, that is all we have for you today. And don't go just yet, because David Tucker is setting up something interesting for you. You wouldn't want to miss this guy on his reviews. So stay tuned. Don't touch that dial. And this show is a daily show. Your indulgence to join us again 10 a.m. tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. every day, as a matter of fact, so that you'll be well informed about the happenings around you. Lastly, my name is Tion Joseph. Do have a great day.
For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.
Inside Nigeria, keeping you informed on what matters.
Hello, good morning, and welcome to Inside Nigeria. My name is Taka David, your host, standing in for your regular host. And today we'll be looking at some national dailies and some interesting headlines that have made the day. And with me to discuss some of these headlines is our in-house analyst, Mr. Paul Ago. You're welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks a lot, David.
Today we'll be looking at some of the national dailies, and we'll begin with Leadership newspaper. And one of our biggest stories is on the PDP crisis. And I know you know a bit about, in fact, a lot about the PDP. So I want to get your take. What do you think is happening? It's as if the House is in war against each other. What is your take on this headline when we are this close to election?
Well, David, thanks a lot for having me here. People generally believe that PDP is in serious crisis and they are about to collapse. But for me, what I see here is conflict of interest. Conflict of interest in the sense that some people see themselves as the power brokers. They see themselves as the all and all. They are the maker of the party. And in Nigeria, instead of party supremacy, it is individual supremacy. What is happening here in PDP can never happen in ANC in South Africa. It can never happen in the Labour Party in the UK, or the Conservative Party in the UK, or the Democratic Party in the US, or the Republican Party in the same US. It can never happen. The party is above every member of the political party. Even in our electoral law, it is the party that is recognized. It is the party that goes into an election. And the party will not have a flag bearer. But here, the reverse is the case. An individual or group of individuals see themselves as the owners of the party.
You know, what is interesting about this whole the story says the PDP crisis.
Yes.
State chairman divided over demand for use sack.
Yes.
Single term for Atiku. Looking at the story, some chairmen are saying the emergence of Atiku violates some of the internal arrangements in the party. So should we still say some of people are being selfish?
David, we were not privy to the discussions. We can only hear.
Okay, as it is now,
we are not privy to some of those.
The flag bearer is from the north.
Yes.
The BOT chairman is from the north. So what now becomes of any other when he emerges the president?
But
he's a flag bearer.
He's a flag bearer.
There's a 50-50 chance of him becoming the president.
Let that time come. And that is what I expect stakeholders to be instead of them to be working towards victory. They are busy working towards downfall of the party. Everything boils down to Wike, and everything boils down to the war chest of the governor of Rivers State. Now, if you recall, look at history. Everything, almost all the crises in PDP has a link to Wike. You remember the Body Sheriff era? It was Wike and Co. that sponsored Sheriff. It was Wike and Co. that brought in Secondus. It was Wike that moved for the removal of Secondus. It was same Wike in Conniva with the governor of Benue State, Ayofayoshe, and a few others that said, look, Ayu should come.
Okay.
And Ayu now became the chairman. He went into an election. He went into a contest and lost democratically. Why all these things now? A true party man will go back, work for the party. Then after the victory, then these issues can come up.
Okay, that means you by your analysis, he's not a true party man.
He's not a true party man.
Fighting.
A true party man will not be hobnobbing with in Rivers, his opposition. He will not be hobnobbing. Yes. And look at some of his utterances.
All right.
Say he's showing them pepper, and the speaker joined him and said, show them pepper.
There's another story there is talking about crude oil theft.
Yes.
And then oil workers planning a shutdown of the sector. What do you think that would be to our economy?
It's a failure. It's a failure of the Nigerian state. A vital national resources as crude, because crude accounts for majority of our national income. we cannot protect that particular product, that asset, that national asset, that life wire of the Nigerian state being stolen on a daily basis. It's just like this issue of insecurity. It's not ghosts that come to steal crude. Now they even gone beyond bunkering to stealing crude in large tankers. That's to tell you that these people don't operate without the connivance of insiders within the security cycle and even the political cycle.
Interesting.
It boils down to the commander-in-chief of the armed forces of Nigeria into taking a decisive action. It's not ghosts that are stealing it. They've gone beyond that. We cannot meet our OPEC quota. That is not good. Some countries are agitating for additional allocation, but we, the one allocated to us, we cannot meet up because people are busy stealing crude.
And the people stealing are not ghosts, they are human beings.
They are human beings.
They are located within Nigeria.
They are within Nigeria, house on the shores of Nigeria. Why would a whole tanker come to steal crude in Nigeria?
Mind you, according to the Nigerian Navy, the tanker did not succeed. The tanker did not move any crude out of this country.
But that is what we hear now.
And the tanker spent only 12 hours within our waters.
But is that, can they tell us that there have not been records of stealing of crude within the Nigerian territory?
According to them,
it is their responsibility
that
to provide.
It's not out of place for any vessel to come into Nigeria without clearance.
But they've been stealing crude. They've been stealing crude. So it is their responsibility.
Like you said, with the 40 Navy's houseboats stationed along the creeks.
Yes.
If any tiny vessel is able to take crude out of this country, then someone somewhere is conniving and benefiting. That's an interesting one from Mr. Paul Ago. He's here with us. We'll hear more from him. Then our sister publication, The National Economy, has an interesting story how Nigeria can avoid falling into a fiscal cliff. Government must end, then there's a rider, government must end high cost of governance. Another one says, and then we must stop borrowings to finance consumption, experts tells AFG and states. That's an interesting one for us there. The business side of the story.
It's unfortunate that we end up spending all our monies on paying of servicing debt and at the same time running government. Very soon, we will not have any money for capital projects. The way we are going, and there must be fiscal discipline. There must be discipline in the area of the way and manner we run our system here. Our system is too expensive. And that is why each time they mention the Orusa report, it gets me excited. It gets me excited for one reason, that government, for once, the civilian government will be bold enough to tackle this seemingly high cost of governance in Nigeria. You know, the civilian administration have been very slow in muscling out the political will.
They have been democratic
to addressing some of the issues. Just like the issue of creation of states and local governments. Everything happens to, it is the military that did all these things for us. But how can we, as a civilian, democratically elected government, reduce cost of governance? And everybody, any administration that comes, seems to be afraid of touching this very sensitive national topic.
Because whoever wants to reduce the cost must start from himself.
Why not? Why not? Why won't the presidency say, look, it's high time we stop all these high-class vehicles that we use? Instead of buying a Mercedes-Benz for 200 million, for example, why can't we go to UNOC and give them a model and give them our specification and say, look, this is what we want. Can you guys do it? How much will it cost us? I can assure you that a car purchase for 200 million, the same car can be replicated by Innocent or any other locally vehicle manufacturing company in Nigeria for less than 100 million.
Interesting. And then that would
The
that
same
would
thing
go
if
round
the
to
president
circulate within the
decides,
economy
like the way the governor of Anambra State uses made in Nigeria vehicle.
as his
I
official
don't
bill.
think any commissioner in Anambra will venture put in his budget that he wants a Prado in Anambra State when the governor is using Innocent. So this thing can be castigated down if the president wants to actually surely lead by example. You can say, okay, let us find a way of reducing this cost. Leave this high-class vehicle to celebrities. Leave these high-class vehicles to celebrities. Let us follow the
reverse is
lead.
the case in Nigeria. Our politicians
Let
want
us
to be the ones
let's
driving
follow
the
the lead
latest
of
vehicles.
countries like India. You can never see the Indian prime minister in any foreign-made vehicle. The vehicle must be made in India. That is a leadership style that can help the economy. If you start from the president, that's how it will go down. Yeah. And it will help us to
But
start
you
reducing this
recall
cost.
that the Ninth Assembly also purchased the foreign vehicles.
Yeah, of course. If the president starts using made in Nigerian vehicle, the National Assembly cannot put in the budget for vehicles, for foreign vehicles. They will say they want to go after the president too.
But cutting down the cost of government, does it just revolve around the vehicles?
No, it's not only the vehicles, including what we even use, our daily consumption. If the president say, look, I'm not going to travel abroad again for medical checkup. I will go to the national hospital. I will ensure that the hospitals are improved. I will ensure that look, our educational style, universities,
it's
going
to take
yes, it
years of
requires sacrifice. The places they go, people sacrifice. Was London like this 60 years ago? No. You recall the same London we were talking about 75 to 80 years ago, they were bombarded by the German forces. So they were able to rebuild their economy. Look at Japan. They suffered a humiliating defeat in 1945. But look at Japan today. They stood together. They decided to manage the economy, and you see, they consume what they produce. But here, we choose to consume what we don't produce. We go to Japan. We take pride in consuming foreign products, including furnishings, everything. So if the government can start, that is how the cost.
What are we really producing at the moment?
Yeah, we are producing. Thank God, recently the CBN said we started exporting rice. It was a good news because that's the only way you can earn foreign exchange. That is the only way you can earn foreign exchange. So if we start by doing that, we have to lead by example. If the president starts, the governors will also follow. The National Assembly.
Because I recall
who is the Minister
of Science saying we're talking about.
We don't take pride in consuming what our own.
And I don't even think we've started. So talking about we consuming what
we need to import, Mr. David, is this. We need to import machineries used for production. Because some of these machineries we can't produce them. That one is allowed. We can import machineries that will aid production, not finished product. We should try and reduce our consumption of foreign products by at least 50%. Then when we successfully do that, if we can do that successfully, then we'll now go into the governance structure. Some ministries, some agencies that are duplicating, they have duplicating function. We start cutting down this thing. That is possible. But this fear of the unknown, what will happen? What will be the reaction? By the time you dialogue, when you involve labor in this thing, you will successfully do it.
Talking about that leads me to another story about development plan, about lessons federal government, states can learn from China and others. And you've mentioned about other countries like India and Japan.
Yes.
What you've talked about Nigeria learning from those places. Can we make the sacrifices that those countries have made to become whatever they are?
Yes, we can. Everything, and I keep on saying that it boils down to the leadership of the country. It's possible. There's no big deal.
Looking at the amount of money most of our leaders spend to get into offices, can they make that sacrifice?
They can.
Should we not start from?
It will not make them poor.
Cost?
It will not make them poor. It's just this greed. It will make them poor. There are people in this country that owns over 100 houses. They can only sleep in one.
If not just one, they can only sleep in one room.
In one room. So they can it calls, you see, it's just the leadership. I keep on saying the leadership. People can, if the leaders can live by example. Like, look, I'm not gonna, my clothes must be made in Nigeria. My shoes must be made in Nigeria.
We had a lot of leaders who
We don't
make
want
such
to,
statements, but when they get into
let
office,
us
we don't see them.
let us
living
discourage
by example.
this issue of a one wristwatch over 300 billion naira. So these are some of the things that have been slowing down development in Nigeria.
All right. Thank you very much. We'll move to the next daily. We're talking about the Nation newspaper, and the lead story is on our former president Obasanjo, who said, "I have no preferred candidate, but national agenda." He said this when he visited the former head of state, Abdul Salam. So, what do you think with his recent romance with some aspirants, and then him coming to say he has no preferred candidate, but a national agenda? What is your take on that?
You know, anytime Obasanjo speaks, everybody listens. It baffles me that after over a decade, since Obasanjo left government, it's still relevant in Nigeria's polity. The people have alleged that Obasanjo is trying to ignite a third force. Could be SDP, combination of SDP, ADC, and Labour. But the man has come to say, look, it's for national interest, that he has not preferred candidate. Yes, we cannot argue with him. He's trying to play this statesmanship role.
Of course, when he told his party membership, he said he does not belong to
again. Good. Yes, it does not belong to any political party. I think the man is being pressured to, the ex-president is being pressured to create some kind of stability in the polity. I must also give it to him. His voice is a voice that that people reckon with, and he's trying to create a kind of stability. I don't know. I'm not privy to the discussion he had with the politicians, the leading candidates
who visited him,
and those who have been visiting him. Although he has come out to caution the speaker that he has not, he didn't endorse.
He did not just meet with only other. He also met with the ruling party's candidate.
I think he's just trying to ensure that Nigeria transcend peacefully to the next administration. Politicians
what would that national agenda be? That's one thing on the minds of every Nigerian.
The national agenda could be peaceful election, could be accepting defeat, could be free and fair elections, and it also could be a kind of persuasion to narrow down the candidates
number of candidates
to one particular person. These are all speculations, but I don't think the ex-president mean harm to the country. I think he wants a peaceful and transparent election to come 2023, and that's what we need people like him to be doing at this time. And I'm surprised that people like former President Goodluck Jonathan have not been talking. He should be talking like
Jonathan. Is one of the respected figures when you're talking about the Nigerian political landscape.
Yes,
because he has a lot of influence. He has been an observer.
It will help to rouse attention.
Of course, he has a lot. A lot of Nigerians look up to him.
Yes. And so I expect Jonathan to also be talking, although one is his age now. People,
he's still.
I expect them to be talking to help to douse the tension, the apprehension among Nigerians, and that will lead to a peaceful election. And that is the prayer of all of us.
All right. Thank you very much for coming, and our viewers, thank you for staying with us. As you can see, that's the much you can take for this edition, but stay with us. Tomorrow we'll be right back with more interesting stories and discussions.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.